When you're doing a drop and hook, you get out your truck, most likely you go from the back to your front. First thing I'm gonna go to is my landing gear, all right? Right now, I'm gonna bring it down. Make sure your pad literally touched the ground completely.
Whoa, 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 whoa. It's insane how controversial unhooking and hooking up a tractor trailer can actually be. We're gonna walk you through everything in this video of why some people believe, like this guy here, that we are completely idiots for what we're teaching here at Driving Academy. The one thing that you do have to understand about everything that we do here at Driving Academy is our job is to get people on the road to freedom with the CDL license, which means we gotta teach people from the book. Now I'm sure there's a lot of people in these comments that have been driving for over 10 years and they kind of figured out their own way. But we have to teach people directly from the book itself. But in this video, we're gonna kind of break down some of the comments on why they think that is the right way and why we're actually training the actual way from the book itself. And we'll kind of be able to go through the pros and cons. At the end, I'll be able to show you a diagram, but let's go down to what is the most controversial part of a video that we did on how to hook up and unhook a tractor trailer. If you haven't seen that video yet, make sure you check us out on Instagram or on TikTok. You'll be able to see that video and let us know exactly how we did with that itself. So let's get started. All right, so the first part of actually unhooking a tractor trailer is doing what I'm doing right now, which is making sure that we're bringing this thing all the way down. Now, the most controversial part about what we talked about is actually our instructor has taught, hey, make sure you bring this all the way down. As you can see, this is not down, but the other side is, until you actually hear the air come out of the actual airbags itself. And what's actually happening, if you follow me underneath here, you can kind of come underneath and you'll be able to see these airbags right over here. It's kind of hard as dark, but that air that you hear hissing out of there is coming right from these airbags. And what actually happened is it's transferring the weight from the actual tractor to the legs of the trailer or the landing gear of the trailer. Now, in a lot of these comments, what they're talking about is what you should be doing is lower the airbags to make it easy for the actual next guy to hook up the actual trailer. And if that does work, as long as that guy has a similar type of tractor. Now, the one thing that you have no idea of what actually is happening is the next guy who's going to be picking up your actual trailer might have a different size tractor, and it might make it actually harder for that individual. So imagine you lower this trailer way too low, and now when it comes to the next guy to actually hook it back up again, you are going to have to lift up these legs with a fully weighted load, and that is not going to be a fun thing to do. It's always much easier to lower the legs if needed rather than to higher the legs. But this is actually a perfect example. We're on paved ground. You see this side over here is still loose. When on this side over here, it's actually solid to the ground itself. And this is exactly why we want to make sure that we are lowering the legs as much as possible to avoid anything moving forward. Because if this trailer was fully loaded and then you have a big discrepancy on what the ground looks like, the trailer can actually tip over and it can cost you a whole lot of money doing it, right? So that's exactly why we teach our students the most safe way possible and make sure you bring in the legs all the way to the ground. After that, there's really no controversy on what we talked about, because from there, all we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out this locking arm right over here. Once we do that, that's going to unhook the fifth wheel. There's lock jaws that are tied to the kingpin. Once that's unhooked, that's good to go. And then we're actually going to just take out these air lines, because this is what brings the air from the tractor all the way to the trailer brakes itself. We're going to take out these air lines. The red one is going to be for emergency brakes. Blue is going to be for service lines. And then this green one, in some trucks it's going to be black as well, is going to be for the electrical, because all the lights on the trailer have to work based on the tractor itself. And then you're going to just hook this up into what's called the dummy couplers. And then from there, you're able just to pull out and be able to rock and roll and get your next load so you can start making some more money. So what I'm actually going to show you next is we're going to head over to our office. I'll show you on a diagram truck that we actually have and tell you the pros and cons of what can actually happen if you do it our way versus if you do it what all these commenters were actually talking about, the real way to do it in real life, right? Remember, our mission is to help you get yourself on the road to freedom and pass your CDL road test. And if you're doing all these shortcuts, you might not be able to pass and you might get yourself into trouble. So let's get right into the office. All right, so now that we're in the studio, we have our diagram chart over here. Let's kind of go through the pros and cons of both options out there. So what we've decided to teach you guys is actually bringing the landing gear all the way down. So the landing gear in this case is going to be over here. And you heard that hissing sound on the actual airbags, which means what's happening is this is lifting off, which means all the weight's now transferring to the trailer. And now you're able to unhook the actual fifth wheel and just pull the tractor away. Now, what a lot of the guys in the comments with experience are saying is never do that, because what winds up happening is if the guy lifts it up too much, we're not saying lift it up all the way, right? We're saying lift it up until the airbag starts to release and you start hearing the air pressure. But what their fear is, if you lift it up too much and now all of a sudden the new guy comes in, cast and lower it, and it's a fully loaded trailer, it's going to not be an easy thing to lower the weight of the trailer, because you got to start cranking on a fully loaded trailer, right? So there's definitely going to be some muscle needed for that, which is fully understandable. But what they're saying is this: they're saying, okay, when you hook up, you're going to release the airbags in your actual tractor itself. One thing that most people don't understand, not every truck has that capability. So that's why we have to teach you no matter what truck that you're in. But say your truck does have that capability and you lower the airbag. So what winds up happening is you're going to lower the landing gear until about an inch or two off the ground, and then you're going to lower your airbags, and that's what's going to actually make the landing gear go on the ground itself. So now at that point, all the weight of the trailer is now sitting on these landing gears, which would be right over here in this case, right? At that point, you then unhook the trailer, you then back up, and then pull out, and you'd be good to go. Now, this trailer in this case would be lower, which means if the guy next who's coming has a different setup or a different configuration, and this guy's higher, which you just lowered it, even if he lowers his airbags, you might find the situation where it's like this, where now all of a sudden this trailer is too low, and the only way to build this trailer up is now you have to crank the landing gear all the way up until this thing comes up to a point where you can now officially back on underneath it. Now, I don't know about you, but I would much rather lower a heavy trailer than it raise a heavy trailer itself. I've been on both ends of the spectrum here, where all of a sudden I'd have to raise a heavy trailer because it looks something like this, right? And that was a workout. We needed like 2 guys on because we were in a rush to kind of get things going, and everyone was sweating at the end of it. When it comes to lowering it, it's much easier to go that route. So that's why we're saying, hey, the best thing to do when you are unhooking from a tractor trailer, put the landing gear all the way down. Make sure that you then hear the air on the airbag suspension itself kind of release a little bit. Make sure all the weight's on here, pull away, and that is the safest bet that you can actually make. Because the other thing that you have to watch out for by lowering the airbags, if you have uneven ground and you pull away, then you can cause a potential tip over of the trailer itself. Very low likely chance of doing it, but when it does happen, it's going to be a big mess. So you want to make sure you're covering all your angles, and that's exactly why we teach our students exactly the proper way to unhook a tractor trailer safely for all cases and all scenarios itself. So now that you understand both pros and cons of how things are done, put in the comments below which way do you think is actually better. And if you actually want to learn how to hook up and unhook a trailer and even get yourself a CDL license, we definitely recommend coming to the best CDL school in the country here at Driving Academy. Definitely go to our website, cdldrivingacademy.com, to find locations near you. And we're open up 7 days a week, which means we get to work around your schedule. So one more time, cdldrivingacademy.com, and I hope that you're able to hook up and unhook a tractor trailer nice and safe, and I'll see you on the road to freedom. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us out. Click on that button. And if you want to continue yourself on your road to freedom, here's more videos to watch. There's endless amounts. Hopefully we get to see each other one day very soon. Thanks.